Well, hi there, welcome back to Bus and Beyond. We get sent a lot of power banks. We're very fortunate. Companies send us them all the time. And funny enough, this one, the EcoFlow Delta 2, has basically lived in our garage ever since it arrived. It's stayed with us. It's been my go-to instead of using an extension cable for any work that I'm doing on the van. Most people, if you need to use a circular saw or a table saw or something like that, you obviously take it outside the garage and you run an extension cable to it to power it. What I find I tend to do is I just bring this outside. It's so useful. I keep it charged all the time. I plug my device into that, and it just means that you're not having to move the extension cable all around. You just move this around. You've got quite a few ports on it, so I can charge my drill batteries whilst I'm working, and it can even be in the van with me and everything like that. So it's absolutely ideal, and it's just so easy to move around. It's a 1 kilowatt portable power station. There's much bigger ones available, as you'll see shortly, but yeah, this has just been kind of our go-to power bank that we've just had around the house all the time. So EcoFlow were very kind to send us the big brother of that one. So that's the Delta 2. This is the Delta 2 Max, and I've left it in the box. I've opened it, but I've left it in the box because I want to show you just sort of how it's packaged, and it just sort of shows the quality of the product. It's a heavy device, as denoted by heavy object written here. So, but yeah, let's have a look inside. What I really like about it is just the way it's packaged. I don't know what it is. They all come in polystyrene, but this is really nice polystyrene. And the box that it comes in, just the way it's etched with EcoFlow in the top, it just gives you that kind of, it's obviously not quite on par with Apple branding, but you know, it's that kind of packaging. Everything just feels really nice. You can get inside the box here. This is what will be sort of your charging cables and things like that. So let's have a look in here. So that's your charger for charging from the car when you're driving along. Just plug it into your 12 volt outlet and then into the EcoFlow. And then that's your 230 volt AC charging cable. And you know, it's not just rubbish cable ties. It's nice cable management. Although I don't like that. They annoy me, as I've said in many videos. But yeah, so nicely packaged, and then you've got your instruction manual. Just like I say, you've got EcoFlow on the actual packaging itself. But let's get this beast out. Right, let's pop it up here. Wow. Now this isn't going to be a comparison between the Max and the normal Delta 2, but obviously because we've got it here, you can just see the difference in size. This is a 1 kilowatt portable power station. This is a 2 kilowatt. Maybe the actual footprint isn't vastly different, but it is heavier. There's no question about that, and that's always going to be the case because it's got double the amount of batteries inside it. But yeah, like I say, this is not going to be a comparison because there's plenty of them online. What I want to show you really is just how useful these are when you're away camping in a camper van. Okay, so I touched on it earlier. The Delta 2 Max is a 2 kilowatt hour battery bank. It's got up to 2,400 watts of AC output. So basically, if you're running at maximum power, it will last for about an hour. There's more on. We'll touch more on the actual outputs in a bit, but yeah, actual dimensions. It's a pretty big power bank, but you can use up to 13 outlets at the same time. So it's a bit of a beast, really. Let's actually have a look at it in more detail, and we'll start with the display first of all. Look, it's still got the plastic on. I don't even want to take that off. It's nice to leave that on.
I'll do it.
No, leave it on. Right, so power button down here. This is, I've not turned it on yet at all, so this is what it's come shipped with. Hopefully there's some power in it, otherwise it's going to be very embarrassing. So we've got 30%. That's a lovely bright screen. It's really bright, isn't it? It looks good. And what you've got here is it's basically saying at the current usage, you've got what's that, 89 hours of usage. That's because nothing's plugged in. We've got 30% of battery in there, and then you can see you got two bits here. The top one is the input, the amount of watts that have been input. So if you're charging the device, that will show you what speed that's charging at. We'll touch on the charge speeds in a bit. And then the output is below that. So basically in and out. Then as you move further down from the screen, you've got a whopping 4 USB-A's and 2 USB-C's. Now, predominantly USB-C's are the go-to nowadays. They're much faster. You're talking 100 watts on the USB-C and only about 15 watts on the USB-A. So, yeah, quite considerably different. So, but it doesn't really matter if you're charging the phone, I suppose. It would just be slow charging, much faster if you use the USB-C. You turn them on and off using that button. Obviously got nothing plugged in yet, but we'll plug some in a bit. And then on the opposite side, I shall spin it around. Well, let's have a look at this side first. Just a bit of branding, some fan outlets as well. The good thing about this one is if you are unsure of what the output power is, it is all written on the top. If you have a look at the smaller Delta 2, it's not written there, it's actually on the bottom. So it's a little bit more inconvenient. It's quite nice to have it on the top. Yeah, the side with all the screen and everything, that's the DC side, 12 volt stuff, USB stuff. And then on the opposite side is your charging up at the top. So you lift this flap up. You've got an AC input. So that's where if you just plug it into your wall at home, plug it into there, that'll charge. Then you've got PV 1 and 2. So you've got the option to charge with solar. So you can put a solar panel in, plug a solar panel into it. You've also got we saw the cigarette lighter charger for your car. You can plug in there. The reason you've got 2 ports is because you can actually charge with both systems at the same time to really enhance the sort of off-grid capability. Then beneath that, you've got a whopping 4 3-pin plug outlets. So these are your AC outlets. So you can plug up to 4 devices into here, and normally up to 2,400 watts of power. But temporarily you can go up to 3,100 watts on certain devices as well. So it's like a power boost mode. So that's quite good. And then beneath that, you also have another 12 volt actually. So it's not quite exactly AC and DC on the back, because this is DC as well, I suppose. But it's like a cigarette. Gosh, that's got really big. There we go. That's really hard to get out. You've got a 12 volt cigarette lighter style output on there as well. And then next to the 12 volt output, you've got another 2 12 volt outputs. These are called barrel connectors. I've not seen these before. They're called DC 5521s, and they're for powering certain things in camper vans. Like some fridges might have them, 12 volt fridges, some diesel heaters, that kind of stuff. So it's 12 volt electronics, only up to, I think it's about 38 watts of output. So, but you do have 2 of them, which is quite nice. But yeah, like I say, I've not actually seen anything that's required that plug. The only thing that I seem to think I've seen using those is things like radio controlled car batteries, but yeah, that was a long time ago. And then you have independent switches for those. The reason you have independent switches for all these, they're not on all the time, is because, for example, the 230 volt system has to run through an inverter, which are naturally inefficient. So if you turned it on, the inverter's already running, even though there's nothing plugged in, you will see that we've already lost a lot of time. You see it's dropped to 18 hours, nothing plugged in, because an inverter is always using, has a loss of power. So it's important to, when you're not using them, turn that off, and then the time shoots right back up again. And then on the final side, we've got another 2 ports, and these are for actually putting external batteries on. So you can get additional EcoFlow batteries that you can connect into this. And like I say, this is a 2 kilowatt hour system, and with another 2 batteries, you can make this up to 6 kilowatts of battery bank. So what an absolute beast that would be. I want to show you like how powerful these things are. It's only travel stuff that I'm going to plug into this, but I just wanted to show you that if you've got a motorhome, a camper van, a tent, a car and a tent, this can really increase the luxury of your campsite experience. So let's try a few things. First of all, I want to show is we've got, let's plug a travel kettle in. Now this is just a 1 kilowatt hour travel kettle. Let's also plug in the air fryer. Now I want to highlight that we've got a pretty decent battery setup in this van, but inverters are expensive. We only have a 1600 watt inverter. That's a 1000 watt kettle. This is a 1000 watt air fryer. I can't remember what it's called then. Air fryer. So already with these 2 devices, our electrical system wouldn't be able to cope. And also, like we touched on earlier, the inverters are pretty inefficient. So if you're off grid and you run an inverter all the time in the van, you very quickly run out of battery power. So if you add something like this, it just allows you to be off grid for longer. You can use this for things like this. Then the van electrics can be left just to do the lower power stuff like compressor fridges, diesel heater, your lighting, stuff that can last for days and days without rinsing your battery. Right, so turned it on the back. We see it drop down. It gives me a little indication to show that we're running on 50 hertz, which is the UK standard for the electrical devices. And there's nothing in here. I've seen people like air fry their instruction manuals because they've left them in there before, which is quite funny. Right, so as soon as that's on, you can see straight away 1000 watts, well 970 watts has been used. So you could run, yeah, you see, oh, that's changed to minutes, so 33 minutes at 1000 watts, and that's, you know, that's accurate, isn't it? It's a 2 kilowatt device. We're only using half of that. It'll last for half an hour. Now, let's power up the kettle. And now we're down to just 17 minutes. Bear in mind this has only got 30% battery, but we're running both devices. The kettle is boiling, the air fryer's going. The only noise you can hear as well is the air fryer, and eventually you'll start hearing the kettle.
So mathematically speaking, this is at about a third of battery capacity, and you could times that by 3, and we'd be looking at nearer 50 minutes running both these products.
Yeah, exactly that. Bear in mind that you could use a solar panel to charge this during the day, so you're not using your off-grid van electric still, and keep topping it back up again, and keep using it for your dinner, for your cup of tea. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, because these items are not going to use anywhere near 50 minutes, are they? No.
You don't need, I mean, air fryers you could run for quite a long time, I suppose, but a kettle will be done and dusted pretty quickly. So like I said earlier, it's still, even though it's been running for a little while, all we can hear is the air fryer and the kettle. Now if I turn both these devices off quickly, the fans would be running normally, and you'll hear how, so that's off. It's not been making a noise at all. Now it's actually written down in the blurb about this that when it's charging, because that's often when they make quite a lot of noise, this has quiet charging. It will only run up to 30 decibels. If you imagine something like a generator being on site where you just annoy your neighbours completely, people do not like generators running all the time. This is completely different. You know, it's silent pretty much. You're barely hearing it at all. Now, not all portable power stations are equal. A lot of it depends on the battery chemistry. This has the LFP standard of battery chemistry, lithium batteries, so top notch, the best ones you can have in a power bank. And charging that, you've got a few different options that we touched on. So you've got solar, you can charge it through the car, through your sort of cigarette lighter charger, and then you can charge it via AC. Now with solar, you can charge up to 1,000 watts of input through solar. So that's a lot. You know, that is some beefy solar panels plugged into it, and that would charge it up really quickly. You can, if you're charging it via AC, you can charge at a maximum of 1,800 watts. So it would soon get this charged in just over an hour. You can combine both the solar and the AC input together to create a maximum of 2,400 watts of input, where, you know, charge this is really quickly, 45 minutes up to 80%. And the way to do that is it would draw the maximum via AC at 1,800 watts and 600 watts via solar. So yeah, quite an awesome combination to get it charged back up really quickly. So that just shows how flexible these devices are. There's so much you can do with them, and very, like I say, various sizes. This is a bit more manageable, a bit more portable, but will last half the time of the Max. This is a bit heavier, but packs a bigger punch, will last longer. And it just depends what you need. Maybe if you're in a tent, you might need the smaller one, but if you're in a big motorhome or a big camper van like this, you could quite easily manage with the bigger one. So that is the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max, beast of a portable power station. If you're interested in looking up more of the stats or buying one, click on the link in the description below. If you have any questions about these, please just put them in the comments below and I'll be able to answer them. If there's any tests you want us to do, like setting fire to a candy floss machine like we did with this one, yeah, please put them in the comments below and we'll have a look at that. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. If you have, please click that thumbs up button and please do consider subscribing, and we shall see you in the next video. Cheers.